Good evening, everyone. So, friends, students, today we are going to discuss on a hotel industry case. Any one of you have read this Elegant Hotels Limited case study? So, I'm sure we all know that the paper six for which we all will be preparing is a multi-subject paper where a lot of areas are covered in. So it is like a buffet where everything is served and everything is tested at one place. So this helps you understand audit, taxation, and management skills in one question. So from exam perspective, I don't know as a student you feel like from exam perspective, but from a professional's perspective, once you become professionals and start taking over any of the jobs or any of the areas, or whether you want to start your own business or ventures, you will realize that it is very important to have knowledge of all areas. You cannot be a master in all, but at least basic understanding of all areas are needed. Then only you can take right decisions. Now, this hotel industry, which is a case, anybody would have read this case study, basics case study? Anybody, by any chance, would have read something? If not, if not, then this is a case study about hotel industry. So before we go and discuss the questions of case study, just a random quick discussion on hotel industry. What do you think are the challenges in hotel industry? Let's say if you want to start your hotel industry, what do you think could be challenges in the hotel industry? Any thoughts? And as I always mention, there are no negative markings in the class. So whatever, there are no wrong answers. Just your thoughts. So what do you think could be the challenges in any hotel industry? So if you want to set up your hotel, and we're not talking of restaurant, we're talking of a full banquet hotel. So anyone like to speak something, you can unmute or like to put on chat, whatever is comfortable to you. Manpower. So this is a challenge, and why it is a challenge, Samanathan, when we say we are a population of 140 crore people, largest after China in the world, and then we say manpower. Why is that so? Though your answer is right, manpower is a challenge. But my question is, if somebody says, you have a lot of manpower in India, then why you think there's a shortage of manpower? As I say, answer is right, but the question comes why? Skilled labor, that's most important. You cannot put anybody in this job. This is a service industry, and especially it's a hotel industry where the guests need to be felt like a king. No reason, no reason, else. That's fine. That's fine. You're answering that is more than enough. So here you need to have a polished professionals from, in fact, even the lowest job was done, even the janitor or even the cleaner, even the maids, even the person who is cleaning your room, they they may not be highly educated, but they need to be highly skilled in the way they deal with the way they deal with the customers. Even the waiters who is serving, or the person who is keeping plates, dishes, they need to show very professional attitude. So finding that kind of professional in that kind of people with this mindset, skilled labor is a very big issue. And the other big issue which all hotels are struggling, they get people from smaller places or very low paying places, put investment on them, put training on them. They work 6 months, 8 months, and then another hotel gives them a better offer. That's why attrition rate is very, very high. It is up to 78%, 70 to 78, approx 80% attrition in in the in the lower level of skilled labors. And and see the and we need to always understand, if I am working at a very lower level in any organization, am getting, let's say I'm getting 20,000 rupees a month. If somebody gives me 24,000 rupees, do you think I'll think about loyalty? Oh, he taught me all this, but I will quickly jump to 24,000. And I'm not saying it is wrong or right. I'm not questioning on that part. I'm just giving you the real issues which a businessman faces when they set up a factory, set up a business, they train people, and people go. And we cannot stop anybody in the world. Because if you try to stop them, you will stop performing better. You will ill treating the client. So that's why people do not question. And I've seen cases in audits in where because we do a lot of audits of such industries where manpower is highly in demand. People, the moment you pay them salary of June, on 1st July, they will stop coming. No relieving, no certificates and all. And the irony is, they leaving is fine. If I get my salary and I don't want to give notice and all, that is fine. The biggest irony is the company who is taking, yeah, I have not said this, fine. The company who is taking them, they don't want, they don't want also any NOC, any experience certificate. Just give me. Now the company whom I am working with, just give me. Okay, the company with whom I am working, they they do not want. Just give me a minute. I think there's some distraction. So the company whom they are working, even they don't want this. So which is ideally wrong. Ideally, there should be a policy that the leaving person should get a NOC from the previous organizations, which many MNCs does, but certain companies stop doing this. So that becomes one of the challenges. Any other challenge somebody thinks in hotel industry? Anyone else think any challenges in hotel industry? Various statutory compliances in different matters, and absolutely right. This could lead to even shutdown of your hotel. Let's say, for example, something you don't have a fire NOC for some reason, your entire hotel will be shut down. Let's say your food safety license, you don't have a food safety license for some reason, it is expired, whatever reason, entire process goes for a halt. So compliances are huge, and especially after COVID, the compliance of hygiene has become very high. So if you don't have that kind of sanitations, then they don't allow you to run. So it becomes a huge issue. So I don't know how many of you heard a virus name called SARS. SARS came in 2010 in Hong Kong, in China and Hong Kong. So I was traveling to Hong Kong at that time before the virus came in, and at the time the virus spread. So the hotel which I was staying, they 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 stopped taking any further they stopped taking any further occupancies, and the reason was their government mandated that every 4 hours, the entire hotel will be fumigated, cleaned with bacteria and what other, and who will bear the cost? So this compliance costs are huge because you cannot afford to run without compliance. So that's one part. The case study, probably let me try to, it should be on the board of studies material. Nisab, let me try to see if I can send you on chat. Is it possible to send on chat? I'm just trying to see if is it possible. I think it is possible. Let me try to send this case study. Just give me a minute. And sir, you don't need to be sorry for that. In fact, this kind of participants I love who like to have at least case studies in their hand. So no, no, I'm not sharing the screen. I'm not sharing the screen. I'm trying to, I'm trying to share the case study, but for some reason it is not going in the. Just give me a minute. Let me see if I can share the case study. Just I'm trying to. So I've not shared any screen as of now. I'm just trying to share some case study for parts of just a second. Just give me a minute, Nisa, to set this. Ideally, it should be on the ICA Board of Studies material, but let me see if I can just try to share you. So, just see, Nisa, if you are able to download this, I try to put on chat. Just see if that works for you. So, anyways, it is available on portal, but I try to send it a PDF version for you. So, coming to the challenges, one we discussed, it is a manpower shortage, manpower. Second would be second would be on compliances issues. Now, one of the major challenges would be, where do you think the sales depends on? Is it a seasonal business or it is a regular business? What do you think? It's a seasonal business or a regular business? It's a seasonal business, right, Desaraju? You will agree? The more the more holidays you have, the more long weekends you get, there will be more travel bookings. When you have like those people who have kids, they will not travel when there is a school exams or schools going on. So that becomes a challenge. So this certain things depend on seasonal business. Then also it depends on does it depends on economy? Does this hotel industry depends on economy? If my economy is growing, it will impact my positive. It is a inverse relationship or it's a direct relationship. My economy goes good, my hotel industries goes bad, or vice versa. Or my economies go, they both go in same line. What do you think? So it goes in the same line. So if the economy goes up, your travel goes up. Economy goes down, hotel industries goes down. So it's all related to this. Now the biggest challenge, which if you ask with any hotel industry, any hotelier, what is the biggest challenge? Where do you think they get majority of the bookings? Take any hotels which you know. Where do they get majority bookings from direct customers or through OTAs? When we say OTAs means online travel agents. Where do they get majority? OTAs. Where do you think they make more money? Where do you think the hotel make more money? When they get booking directly from a walk-in customer or through their hotel websites, or they get it from OTAs? If we take proportion, so it's no brainer. Directly, they will always get more. Always they will get more directly. But majority bookings come from online. Let's say, for example, Airbnb or Oyo, similar like this, okay, or Booking.com, Expedia, that becomes a huge challenge. Now, if you are a hotelier, businessman, how do you think you can try to address this issue? Any quick thoughts? How you can try to address this issue where there is a stiff competition against online, then where do you think you can address this? Any quick thoughts anybody has on this? Problem statement, that there is a challenge every year getting online. Now, if you want to address this, how will you address that? Having holiday home services to organization. Okay, that how you will address this. You are a hotelier having holiday home services to organizations. Okay. Fixing competitive price. Okay. Fine. Through discounts. Okay. Uh, Mancha, you are almost there through discount, but how do you like to give this discount? Through discount is fine, but how would you like to give immediate discount or future discount? Which you think could be good for hotel industry? Which model you think hotel will prefer? Immediate cash discount or future discount? It will be always future discount. So how do they do that? And that's why if you would have checked, lot of hotels, lot of when I'm talking of 4-star, 5-star hotels, they have a membership that you become our members, spend this much time on us with us, earn this much points, then you get 1 night free or 2 nights free or 50% off. So like take all big brands, take Taj and all, they all give this kind of offers to you. So that's why subscription benefits, and that's why people try to go directly to them that way. So these are few issues. Now, now before I go to slides, because I want to take slides later before I go to that slide. Now, how do you fix a price? How do you fix a price? Let's say, and I'm talking of 4-5 star hotels. I'm talking of 5-star hotel. How do you fix a price? Generally, you are a hotel and you want to put a price. How do you put a price? And if you Google where are the three most expensive hotels or the most expensive hotels in India, you'll find Jaipur as the number one. Okay, that's the most expensive hotels. Now, it's a real story which I'm going to share to you. It's a real story with anybody would have heard the name of Rambagh Palace. Anybody would have visited Jaipur would have at least heard the name of Rambagh Palace. Used to be one of the most finest, still one of the most finest hotels in Jaipur. It's a royal family based hotel. Now, now their room rate was, and I'm talking of 2006-7. At that time, their room rent was 7,000 per night. That's supposed to be one of the most expensive in those days. And I'm talking of 2006-7. At that time, this 7,000 used to be very, very expensive. Very expensive. So a hotel came of Oberai's. So Oberai's opened a hotel Rajvilas in Jaipur, which is now the most expensive hotel now. So when they opened the hotel and somebody said, okay, how much you will charge? He says, I'll charge double what the best hotel in Jaipur is charging. So they checked the best hotel. Rambagh was charging 7,000. So he says, I'll charge not less than 15,000 per night. And everybody told him, you are crazy. The best hotel in Jaipur is charging 7,000 and you are charging 15,000. You've gone crazy. You will not get any guests. The hotel opened 6 months, 6 months, no guest came in. No guest came in 6 months. It was empty. People used to come, inquire the prices, check the rooms, and go back. Because 15,000 at that time in 2006-7 is bomb expensive. So they say, and then everybody started coming and explaining him, all the well wishes of Mr. Oberoi and all that, sir, I think you made a wrong decision. Let us not get stick to ego. Let us bring your hotel price to 7,000 or less than Ramba. So you'll get footfall. Because what is the biggest problem of a hotel industry? If it remains empty, does it damages more or it damages more when it is halfly occupied? Where do you think it damages more? When my hotel is fully empty or my hotel is partly empty? So I am sure you all understand it's no brainer. When my hotel is fully empty, it damages more. So a lot of people said to him that please change your pricing. And he was adamant. He was adamant that Mancha, apart from fixed cost, there if you don't open the property is not used, it gets cements, it gets sealants, it get the the interiors get damaged. So the more it is used, the more it becomes better because then only it is properly taken care of. Because if it is empty property, nobody will take care of that. That's the because the owners also will not put staff to clean on an empty property. It gets rotten. He was adamant that he says, no, no, I will not change my price. I'll keep 15,000. If even if it means running empty for a year, I'll do that. Now that's it. You can call it his good luck, or you can call his adamancy, whatever you can call it. In that year, Bill Clinton had to visit Jaipur. So Bill Clinton wife Hillary said, Jaipur is a historic place. We want to visit Jaipur and have a holiday. See, they will also have a holiday, right? Being a president does not mean they will not go to holidays. So Bill Clinton had to visit Jaipur. Now, when Bill Clinton team need to make him stay in India and in Jaipur, what they search, which is the most expensive hotel in Jaipur, there only they can make him stay. At that time, Rambagh was 7,000, known widely best hotel of Jaipur. But then somebody told, okay, there is one more hotel which is 15,000, considered the most expensive hotel. Now, what do you think? Where do you think the president of USA will stay? 7,000 or 15,000? Where do you think? And in India, government is not sponsoring his trip. It is his personal trip, right? And Neha, do you think he will only stay alone, or Geeta, he will only stay alone, or his entire entourage, his entire his entire uh, securities and all, they will stay in cheap hotel or they will stay in the same hotel. So they book the entire hotel, not only one room. They book the entire property. That entire property will be now under our control because US president is coming. We will charge whatever your money pay. We will pay that. So Bill Clinton entire entourage stays there. 3 days they stays in that property. That property took all limelights, and then 2 months later, Sachin Tendulkar's wives wanted to celebrate Sachin's birthday in Jaipur on a new year. Now, where do you think now Sachin, if he's coming to Jaipur, will go there? Now, when a newspaper comes, okay, this is the room where President Bill Clinton stays. All the celebrities who were earlier going to Rambagh, they all started moving to Rajvilas, Oberoi, Rajvilas Group. Now, then nobody was seeing the price. Then expensive price becomes a status symbol that yes, we have gone to this hotel. That means we are who's and who can afford such a big hotel industry. So at times your price becomes a deciding factor. At times your high price becomes a deciding factor where people feel that okay, you have been on the best. So in hotel industry, many times you need to ensure how you are planning. Say classic example is Tata Group. So Tata has a Taj Group. So we all know Taj was under Tata's. So Taj is a five-star hotel, probably one of the best decent hotels in India, serving in five-star category. Then if you are having a five-star hotel, will you try to open a chain of two-star or three-star hotel? Or would you like to go to five-star only? What do you think? If you want to diversify or invest, sustainable choice, quality over price, sustainable choice, absolutely. So what did Tata's did then? They opened a new chain for Ginger. Now Ginger is a three-star hotel approximately, where you get a very decent stay at a affordable price. The only thing is you don't get luxury like Taj, where you need to put your luggage yourself to the room and all. You don't find much bellboys and all. So Tata started a new chain of Ginger. One of our C member is a CFO of Ginger, and he's from Jaipur only, so that's why I know the story. So the logic when everybody asked Tata is that why are you degrading from five-star to three-star? Why are people move from five to you at least maintain your standards? Why are you venturing into an area where which is not related to your standards? So they say, look, in India, few people travel for luxury, few people travel for necessity, and few people dream is to go into a decent hotel with their families because a lot of people nobody can afford to travel outside India with families or in holidays. But some people at least want to leave their home, take their families. So for those kind of aspiration, which is the middle class and which is majority in India, to serve them, if we open a decent budget hotels, we'll get a good revenue. And then they get a very good revenue from that budget hotels. I'll try to show you the balance sheet probably at the end of the session to get a broad idea. So these are the few broad ideas on hotel industry. Let me start sharing the screen and then we'll start. understanding. The case studies, if anybody did not receive, you can go to the portal, or I can share the PDF just for a quick, or I can try to explain the case study here itself. So this is on Elegant Hotels Limited, which is uh, a hotel based in Rajasthan. It is opened in the name of EHL, which is known as, they operates chain of luxury hotels. They operate chains of luxury hotels, luxury hotels. They have a premium hospitality and heritage inspired experience. Now, when I want, if I want to stay, given a choice, if you like to choose a stay, if you are planning a holiday, and given your choice, you need to choose a hotel. Will you choose a modern hotel, which is like your almost like your house, where like which looks like a 2 BHK like environment, or would you like to feel choose like a hotel like Royal Palace type, which will give you a feel like royal family? Which one, given a chance, like you want to have the you want to stay for 2 3 days, you prefer staying in the same kind of room which you are staying in your home, or would you like to choose something like royal families? Assuming the budget is no challenge, assuming your budget is okay, budget is not a constraint, then you like to see it a royal place. And why is that so? Palace type or village type? Absolutely. Brilliant point, Neha. Either I'll go for palace type or I'll go for village type. Something different experience. Why we are going hotel only for stay or taking an experience? That determines your the place you look for, right? Because we have like anybody would have been to Jaipur would know Chokhi Dhani, or anybody would be in Indore or maybe Mumbai Nakhali Dhani, right? So something like you give a village kind of ambience. So those people who are not uh, have seen villages, they can get a feel of villages. So that's what they look for, right? If budget is your side, you go for premium quality. In premium also you look for ethnic and heritage. That gets the most value. So they are having a heritage inspired infrastructures, and it is very easy to sell heritage stories. Very easy to sell heritage stories. Like you can you there are a lot of kings and lot of kings and lot of chivalry stories of kings and their wars and all, and that way you can do that. So there is a very funny story related to this. Somewhere it happened in England. Somewhere in England, there was there was a in Duke, somewhere in Duke, one of the in Scotland or England nearby, the Dukes. There were royal families, and then the royal family passed away. So they made this as a hotel, like heritage hotel or royal family palace hotels. So they started advertising that this is a place where royal family stayed in this year and that in this room and that room, and people started booking the rooms and all. So the hotel the hotel industry get that hotel owner started demanding huge premium with the operator, and because mine is a hotel industry, mine is a palace where king have stayed, and then so I want a huge premium. So he was selling his palace. He was selling his palace to someone, and he was selling on the same story that the king used to stay here. So I want a heavy price. So at the time, the price fix was somewhere around 1 million pounds. At the time, the price fixed was that a week before the deal was about to close, a week before the period was supposed to close, somebody said to the buyer that the kings and the queens still comes to that palace today. Now you understand what they say? So they say their spirits also comes to the hotel today, and it's a haunted hotel. Somebody put this viral, and the entire deal crashed. The hotel got shut down. The government stopped the palace. The government stopped the palace. Just give me a minute. I think the government shut down the palace. Why is that so? because they say that it's a scary thing. Similar to this, which I'm trying to connect. What is the biggest, one of the biggest risk of hotels is, one of the biggest risk of hotels is, if I am a disgruntled competitor, you open a new hotel and I'm a disgruntled competitor. Can I put fake online reviews? Every day I put a fake online reviews. I attended this hotel. Breakfast was very bad. The customer service is very rude. Now, when you see online reviews, will you will you believe on that online reviews, or you will say nahi nahi aise likha hoga, or you will try to believe that? Generally, what do you think? See, hotel will always say no, no. We try to give our best, but would you like to believe that or not? All the numbers which comes in, all that data which comes in. Because remember, how do we take decisions? We take decisions based on somebody's feedback. Knowingly, we don't try to, don't, knowingly, we don't try to take a wrong call, knowingly, even if it's a blatant lie. So that becomes one of the biggest challenges of these hotels because people threaten them. If you don't give me this discount, I'll write, and if I'm an influencer, I'll blame them. I'll say that I'll threaten them. So that becomes a huge challenge. Now they were a premium hotel and they say, okay, we are a premium hotel, we are running from so long, we are into luxury segment. Because when people go for royal palaces, they don't mind paying higher prices. See, if I'm going for a Oyo or a budget hotels, I will be stingy. I look for the cheapest one. But where I'm going for a luxury, I don't mind discussing, I don't mind paying more. So this was headed by Mr. Rakesh Rajput. In last 15 years, they run this company. He was leading all kind of decisions. Now, after making so much of profit within 15 years and putting a name in this sector, he had a huge base, customer base, regional because of local region, because of travels, because in winters a lot of foreign tourists comes to India. We try to capture that, and I'm sure you all would be knowing that all hotels have a tie-up with foreign tour agents. They give a huge commission to them for bringing certain customers to them. So similarly, so they have a huge customer base every year, and then after making a lot of money, after making hotels in Jaisalmer, which is the one of the best deserts of Rajasthan, Chittorgarh, known for Rani Padmavati, if you have seen the movie, Bikaner, known for again sand dunes and military base. So all these three hotels are 4 star and above. Okay, just we talked 4 star. How many stars hotels we have generally? How many stars hotels we have? When you say number of stars, so first 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. Any idea how many stars we have? Seven. So up to 7 stars. So you are questioning mark. Yeah. So you are questioning mark because you would have heard some hotels sold themselves as 7 star, that we are 7 star hotel. But if you check the star rating, they have not given anyone 7 star. 5 star is the best they've given. Even if you see our government ministry, the Ministry of Tourism, they recognize only up to 5 stars. And the reason of giving stars, they have not gone beyond 5 star is it is based on. So there are no. Can you assume that a 4 star hotel in India will give you same level of service as a 4 star hotel in Europe, or there'll be a difference? There'll be a difference. There is no standardization. There is no standardization of stars. Just like just like some just like some other places. Just need to bear with me for a minute. Okay. Unfortunately, there is some construction going on in near building. So just allow me for a minute. Just give me a minute. I audible now? Then you can just confirm me. Audible. Fine, fine. So, so there are no seven stars officially. Officially, there are only five stars. But just because someone like to sell himself, I like to sell myself. I say I'm seven star. So there are two kinds of hotel classification. Either it is stars or diamonds. So if you go to US or that side of America, they believe in diamonds category. So they give one diamond, two diamonds, like the stars, they give diamonds. But in our part, in Europe side and our side, we have stars. But the stars are not standard. So what you say five star in India may not be the five star in abroad. There may be a different treatment. And there are certain conditions to be called as four star and five star, that you need to have a swimming pool and you need to have certain other terms and services to be given to customers. If you have that, then you are meeting the criteria. So he has all four-star hotels and above category. So he was making huge money. Hotel industry is one time heavy expensive, one time heavy cost. Once you have one time heavy cost done, and then if you have regular footfall coming in, then it is a sunk cost, because you don't need to invest again and again. It is just OPEX that need to be taken care of. But in the OPEX, you need to have taken care of in the OPEX. Other things are taken care by the flow of the customers. So, so after becoming experienced and having an experience in domestic and international travels, he tried to create the brand further. So already the elegant luxury brand, he was running three hotels. So now he thought, when I'm running so many hotels and all, why not to, if I'm having extra money, where to invest? So the headquarter was in Jaipur. He was taking all decisions for further expansion here. He was about to discuss with the board of directors what to do. So when you are in a same hotel industry, what is the challenge of a one hotel industry, one hotel project? There is a limit to grow. If I have taken a hotel in, let's say, 2000 square feet area, there is a limit to grow. Can I vertically grow very high? Answer would be no. I cannot grow vertically very high. There is a limit to based on your respective city zones. And then can I make hotel clumsy, or I need to have hotel with a luxury space? I cannot have hotel with very small open space. I need to have hotel where you have ample space left. Even though it is not giving me money, it should be ample space. It should be so spacious that when you wake up in the morning, everywhere you see lush green grass, you can have a stroll and a walk. So it should be spacious, and also spacious because you will get another revenue from by booking marriage, birthday parties, or other, we call it MICE events, meeting incentives, and these all events. So you need to have huge space. So if I'm into running a hotel and I'm happy with that hotel, I'm making money from that hotel, and I need to grow, so I need to open another hotel industry. Why I will open another hotel industry? Because I already have enough knowledge and experience of running one hotel. So I will not make that mistake again. And my boss in where I did articleships and 10 years where I worked then, they always used to say, making a mistake is not wrong, but repeating one is expensive. So when you make a mistake and learn from it, then you actually take a value out of it. So if I run a hotel industry and I made some errors, some mistakes there, so for sure when I open a new hotel industry, I'll not repeat those mistakes. So I'll be much wiser by that time. And that's what he thought, that okay, I'm having more knowledge. Let me start new. And why he don't wanted to go outside Rajasthan? So let's say why somebody who's from Rajasthan already having three hotels in Rajasthan, why he's not eyeing to go to Gujarat, Maharashtra, any such place? Any thoughts? Because we're not talking of brand, we're not talking of a company like Tata's who can go into every city, Taj Group. We're talking an individual running a show. He opened in Rajasthan. He want to expand further new hotels, but he only wants to be in Rajasthan. not in other cities like other states like Goa, Maharashtra. Any reason why he was thinking to start on this only? Because of existing connection. Okay. Now, do we agree that what was the most say? They can share the raw materials, rice. Okay, fine. Okay, that's logically fine. Do we agree that every state resident have its own choices and own taste and own? We can't say every state resident will have behave in the same way, certain way. Certain state, the culture issue, habit issue always makes a difference. And that way, if I'm habitual to have uh, dealing in one state, I know the taste and I know the people because manpower is very, very important. In my state, in my home ground, I can control manpower as in I want. So the moment my one hotel is having less booking and other hotel is getting extra ordinary bookings, I can shift my hotel staff easily from one place to another because it's in the same state. So he thought, let's grow in the same state. Also now, because Rajasthan has been considered as a tourist destination, especially wedding destinations. One of the, if you remember, most Bollywood celebrities' weddings have been done in Udaipur or Jodhpur or Rajasthan or Jaipur, probably city. So they used to choose these kind of destinations because of the royal touch and because of the fame the cities it carries. Now they had sufficient surplus. All hotels are profitable. Initial 3 to 4 years, it becomes difficult for a hotel to be profitable in real life because initially you need to give hotels at discounts because till the time people come and taste your product, they will not be able to recommend. Because how does this hotel industry goes about? Somebody will go and stay, put a family pic and all, put on Google, Insta, Facebook, LinkedIn that I visited this place. It's a very good place to weekend and all, hang out with kids. So then people start flocking. And when the prices are, I think the prices in my reasonable budget, we'll start moving out. And nowadays, all corporates are doing a team bonding events or 1 day outing events. So they take all their teams for night stay, 2 night stay, and that way it becomes a very repetitive demand for hotels to book in. So that's why where all hotels are profitable, they generated surplus funds. Now they need to think where should they go, what to do with surplus funds, and again the decision making comes in place. So his vision was he proposed an expansion within Rajasthan. There used to be a board meeting to be done on 30th June, which that I'll discuss with the board because when you are in an organization, you cannot do what you like to do. You need to take approval of the board, and that's called management. How you ensure that the entire board listens to you, that's your skill. Now, just taking back to this on, uh, so just to explain that how it is important for the person who is putting an idea to have strong conviction to get it approved from the board. Uh, remember when iPhone would have come? Remember when Steve Jobs would have gone to the board to take a permission that can we make an iPhone? Was iPhone the first smartphone or it was the 16th smartphone? Those who are aware of technology would know. Before iPhone, we have BlackBerry, we have Nokia, we have Samsung, Motorola. They all were there existing in that demand. And anybody would be aware of BlackBerry craze. BlackBerry was the BlackBerry at that time because iPhone came much later, right, Neha? So when Steve Jobs went to the board and say, "Hey board, I want to create an iPhone, a smartphone," what do you think? The board would have appreciated. He says, "Steve, go ahead, we are with you." Or they say, "Steve, you have gone crazy. No point in going into iPhone where already there are 15 players in the market. You have missed the bus. No point in investing now because there are already existing players in the market." What do you think the board would have said to them? Go ahead, we are with you, or they resisted? Everybody resisted. Standard resistance. Except one person, entire board said, "You are doing stupidity. We are not going to do that. We don't permit it." They all rejected. But then he said, I'll take this as my personal failure if it fails. And whatever loss if it incurs, I'll give my ESOP shares to the company, the Pixel company which I was working earlier. He says, I'll give back to that company, so you will not incur any loss. He says, he says, I give you a conviction that whatever project I'm going to make, whatever iPhone I'm going to make, that will become the best product and people will stand in queues to buy that product. If you remember before that time, anybody remember in their home, if you, when you used to buy a phone, we used to get a full big diary as a booklet, how to operate that phone. Anybody remember that time when you used to buy at that time phone, a big book used to come, at least a thin, thick booklet, how to run a phone. Battery caise follow manuals used to come, right? They will say open a cover like this, insert a battery like this, SIM like this. He said, I'll make such a phone which will work on intuition. You don't need to tell people what to do. Their instinctive will tell them what to do, and we'll put no manuals in that. And that's why if you see, so he made the product which is the best, and that's why he got approval because he put his skin in the game, and that's why. And today we know what's the history. So similarly, when you want to go to the board for your conviction, any idea, whenever you want to go, your blood and soul should be in that project. Then people will agree. Initially, everybody resists change. This why I'm saying this because when you go to the corporates, you put an idea. Remember, you raise one idea, there will be 10 people to shut your idea down because nobody likes change. Because we all are comfortable in what we are doing. You say anyone do instead of doing this from last 3 years, you change this now, people get discomfort. But they realize it later that it is good for them. So, but when you present any idea, you need to be very strong with numbers, backing with everything. You cannot just speak in air that I will do something great. You need to have the substance. So now when he need to present to the board, he has certain ideas to put in. So he will give certain ideas to the board that, okay, board, I have surplus funds. You tell me what we should do. So first idea would be, let me invest into a hotel. So one idea could be that, so he sent an email to the board that what we like to do on 30th meeting, what discussions I would like to have with you. So he says, first thing would be, I can go for expansion. So then he created a story that why expansion. So he said because it is a tourism destination, and in fact, if you remember when our prime minister said in one of the his speeches that we all should visit at least one state in a year to to improve the hotel economy after COVID in 22. I don't know how many you remember that speech. That time lot of bookings happened to the hotel industry because of that only movement because people started moving in and they all realized that okay, and especially after COVID people started to enjoy life. They say okay, no point in just exploring, we start just saving money, let's explore and visit our states. So when a state is known as a particular state is known as for tourism, wedding or anything, you get crazy demands. I'll give you just example. In winter times, from 15th December, 15 December to 5th of January, you will hardly find a room in Jaipur. And I'm talking of good hotels. You need to put an approach of ministers and top knots to get a room booking. Because at that time, entire country flocks to Jaipur or nearby places. So that's why it becomes difficult to get rooms. So they know that okay, there'll be always demand. So because customers population is increasing, people are going more and more. And when already we are successful, when we have already tasted success, so if we open a new hotel, we are fine. Already I have 8 crore in my pocket. So initial funding can be done. So initially to buy a land, I have money to buy a land. Then I can go for taking a bank loan because when you have already a land purchase, bank would not shy away from giving a loan, and especially when you have 3 hotels running. So he said, okay, that we'll do that. So he said, okay, let me open a new four-star hotel in Udaipur under our elegant brand. I am expecting 40 crores total expenditure. I expect a lot of vacation premium tourists, those who like to come and have, and I'm sure nowadays you all would have heard the concept of workation, where a lot of people go for work. They try to book those kind of villas or Airbnb and other places where they in the daytime they work and in the evening they start roaming around the cities. So I was in Bali last 3 weeks back. 3 weeks back I was in Bali. So I saw two Indian couples, one Indian couples in next near next property. husband and wife both having laptops, and in the daytime both were working. So I just asked them that, are you too busy that you came on holiday and working? He says, no, no. We have taken a 15 days holiday. In 15 days, because they are an IT industry, so they can afford. This is a In 15 days from morning 9 to 4 o'clock, we work entire day. And from 4 o'clock onwards, we go and travel entire city and all. That way, we do both the jobs without having leaves and managing both. So vacation like concepts have gone a lot. So people will be there. Now, his view was that because I am having a near lake palace, so there will be a lot of people would be willing to pay premium. Because if you have a hotel near lake or greeneries, people tend to pay you better. Now, coming to the point of taxation, if anybody is aware of taxation part, if anybody aware of taxation part, any idea how much benefit I will get under Section 35 AD? Anybody aware of Section 35 AD? How much benefit I'll get in this? Any idea? Any scheme of the government on taxation? Apart from the tourism policy, apart from the local policy of each state gives, only each state have its own tourism policy. Look at that policy. I'm talking of general policies of just a second. Just give me. Let me just so two stars and above. Okay, very good. That means somebody is red. Okay, 100% specified business. Now, let's say, will you allow me to buy a land? Let's say 10 crores is land value and 20 crores is construction. Will you allow me to have land buyout? Brilliant only. Except land, goodwill, or financial instruments. All capex I could get in as a revenue expenditure, but I cannot buy a land. So government said accept land. You said okay, don't buy a land, do a construction, we'll bear that amount. We'll give you a deduction. But land purchase or goodwill purchase. Let's say suppose you want to buy a running hotel. So there's a running hotel, the hotelier wants to sell to you. You cannot say, okay, let me buy this hotel and give him premium for goodwill and all. That government will not approve for you. So, or you are making any investments. So, investments, hotels are not permitted, except land. You can get in others thing. You get a construction, they will clear that for you. So he knows that okay, if I do investment on this, I'll get a tax rebate, which is a very good sum. So if I'm investing 40 crores and I'm able to get 30, hypothetically say 30%, 12 crores immediately back. So that means I'm investing 28 crore rupees. On that 28 crore, I'm paying the entire game. That's what they said this would be one way to look into it. So he presented this idea to the board that this I'll get it. His first option was to make a premium hotel. First option was let us make a premium hotel which a wedding destination in Udaipur. His second option was because he also read Taj balance sheet. He said, okay, they also have a business hotels, budget hotels, because a lot of travelers who came only for work purpose, that they will come in the morning, stay in the night, one day, and next day morning they will just go out. So, do you think those people who come for work, not for leisure, just will Now, do you think that a person who is going for a workation for a work related trip, will he be looking for a hotel who will provide jacuzzi, sauna, swimming pool, or he'll be looking only for a comfortable bed stay, hygienic, clean, and good breakfast, or he will look for all services? Generally, those who are going for work related trips, short trip of 1 day or 2 days. So I'm sure we agree that they will not look into much into other services. Their priority would be to have a comfortable bed or at least breakfast. These two things probably they will look for. You don't give them swimming pool or jacuzzi, they may not even crib for that because they know they are not going to stay much. But if you give them a comfortable stay and good breakfast, they're happy with that kind of services. So so that's where the concept of budget hotels came. Budget hotel concept means where where you are just paying for bed and breakfast, not much fancy services. You'll not get luxury things like which you get in five-star hotels. So very small, good to stay rooms. So his second option was he proposed that let us open two hotels. So you have two choices. Either open one hotel, which is expensive hotel, or open two hotels, not expensive, but budget hotels. So once you open a budget hotels, I can make that's a very good important point. Wi-Fi is must. If you don't give Wi-Fi, I don't stay in the hotel. That's a mandatory point. That's a non-negotiable. Just like I need a water in my washroom, I need a Wi-Fi in my room. That's mandatory. So his choice was to the board, either you go for one premium hotel or you go for two two hotels, business budget hotels in Jaipur and Jodhpur. Based, it will be elegant business. You treat this as instead of elegant heritage, make it elegant business. Target audience would be only business travelers or choosy customers, tourists. We offer a compact room, conferences, high-speed internet, airport shuttle, and all this. Now, if you are decision makers, what factors will you take to decide, shall I open one heritage hotel or shall I open two business hotels? What factors do you think you will consider in mind? Given a thought, if you need to take a decision, one is demand. Now, Neha, that demand, you will factor which demand? Today's demand, past demand, or anticipated future demand? Which one will be major factor in taking this call? Anticipated future demand. Though this is the right answer, but this is in practical, this is the most difficult to think because people generally goes with the past data. And this is where they all make mistake. Charlie Munger, I don't know how many of you heard this name, Charlie Munger. Probably, I'm sure all CA students should know his name, Charlie Munger. He's he was the partner of Mr. Warren Buffett. He passed away a few months back. He used to say he's one of the famous investors and one of the famous in uh, in financial industry. He used to always say it is stupid that how people it is stupid that how people extrapolate the past, and absolutely stupid that they entirely extrapolate the past. The past cannot be the parameter of future success because the past can give you indicator, but you need to be smart enough to think what how the future may look like. Like for example, if you have let's say if you have dish TV. If you remember in olden times, everybody was after cable TV, cable, Tata satellites and all. But somebody thought that, okay, this may not work. Okay. So somebody thought, okay, in future, people may look only for internets. People may look for their mobile screens. So now OTT platform is everywhere and we don't have, and now we don't have set-top boxes in homes anymore. We don't have dish TVs. We don't have that kind of this. So you need to think for future demand, then only it can work for you. If you can think for future demand, then you take a call. So will the so considering that people are taking what kind of demands and that day, absolutely. So somebody need to think in future that what the future taste will change, and based on the future taste, uh, check with any check with any real estate builders. They they start making projects for future, because how the future will live, how the future demand, people will start using the properties. So that's he gave two thoughts. He gave two thoughts to the management that either we can take one stand or we can take one hotel or two hotels depending on what management may feel. Third option, third option he is given third option. If you're not comfortable with these two options, for some reason, if you say I'm not comfortable with these two options, we can do an investment in. I have 8 crore surplus. If I don't want to buy a land or hotel, any of them, let us invest in any of the listed company shares of the hospitality industry. So there are many hospitality industries. Uh, any any listed company shares you can think of hotel industry? Anyone has any thoughts? Any aware of any listed companies of hotel industry? Lemon Tree, okay, and there are many. So I give an example. ITC. ITC is probably one of the most talked about shares. ITC is not primarily only hotel industry, so it's a conglomerate business. Hotel, cigarette, FMCG, all three clubbed together. But yes, one of the major income they get it from hotel industry. Then we have IHCL, Indian Hotel, Taj Group. So, so, so he thought, let me invest into another hotel industry. If you ask me, Mancha, my choice would be if I would be that owner, I would not have invested in a hotel industry. Why I'll not invest in a hotel industry? Because if I'm into same, yeah, the Leela is one of the, if I'm into the same industry, then instead of to diversify the risk, let me put money into some other industry because I'm already running the hotel industry. So if there is an upside in hotel industry, I'll get that. Tomorrow, if there is a downside, my hotel industry will also be in loss and my investment will also be in loss. You're getting me? So in that sense, I should always diversify. So that way it should be always in a different investment because if you are making investment, because you're already leveraged in hotel industry, then any other further investment should be into a different sector so that any any future catastrophic things happens, it can manage. Say for example, when COVID happens, it becomes a huge challenge. When this recently when Israel Iran issues happened, many hotels booking got cancelled. Many hotel booking, many travel got cancelled. So people had a huge losses in that industry, and it is still continuing to certain places are shut for travel. So that way, you need to always have investment in different industry. That can always have a huge impact on any investments. So it should be always a diversified investments so that you can safeguard your risk. Absolutely, it is like compensating. It is you compensate your risk. So that's the option he is given. The reason why he's saying to put investment in shares, he said instead of putting money in bank, it will not be meeting the inflation itself. So let us not put money in the bank and put somewhere where you can get a higher, where you can have a higher impact. Absolutely, that had a huge issue. Which whatever happened in the Pelgam had a huge issue in the hotel industry, and still now JNK hotel industry will be suffering for next 2 3 years. It will not be as easy for them to restart. I don't know how many of you are aware of the Turkey issue. When Turkey made a statement, many hotels got cancelled booking. They all went to Turkey minister and say, take your statement back, but they did not take a statement back. But the many Indian tourists have cancelled. I know many groups, 100 tickets they've cancelled. So these becomes very politically very challenging issues. So that need to be kept in mind. Now his logic of giving expansion was we will have enhanced footprint in Rajasthan. So the more people see our brand, my value will get increased. I will have, if I go for budget hotels, I will have a good portfolio. So if I want to buy an NBFC, if I want to buy an NBFC, which NBFC I would like to buy? The one NBFC who only has a personal loan, or I'll buy the NBFC one who has a personal loan, auto loan, gold loan, assuming budget is no issue. If I want to buy, which NBFC you think I should buy? The one only into personal loan or one giving one already experienced personal loan, auto loan, gold loan, which you think could be a best bet to buy if I want to buy? Again, there are no right or wrong answers to this. It's all thought process. So I'm sure we agree with Niyaz that it should be diversified portfolio so that I have a, I have a huge opportunity to grow in different areas based on market dynamics because market dynamics keeps on changing. Now, one of the biggest challenge of the hotel industry is, as I mentioned, do you agree that as a customer, there may be a hotel which the food you like a lot, but you would not like to go daily or a weekly to that hotel. Sometime you want a change, despite it is the best food, probably the best food you would have ever eaten. Would you like to go and have the same food again and again, or sometime later you want a change? Imagine all your family birthday parties 4 times in a month or 4 events, you go to the same hotel. The best food it will be giving you. Will you take that same food or will you prefer to go for sometime you need change? Everybody, it's a human psychological, we always want a change. And because we get bored very easily with the same thing, even if it is the best thing. Okay? So change is mandatory, it is essential. Different ways after some time. Despite his service issue has no issue, right? So what he need to do, he need to evolve. And that's why if you see, if you have observed, and I'm sure you all would have observed, many restaurants after 4 5 years, they change their decoration, they change their interiors, they organize certain festivals like mango food or certain food for 15 days or 7 days, they change their layout. So look and feel becomes different. So that people feel okay, it's a new place, a new vibes. And that's why they need to constantly evolve. Because they cannot be stuck, they cannot see this can work out for a this same standard, same taste, same layout can work out for a very small shop. Like if I go for a vada pav or a sandwich, I cannot tell him to say roz naya khomcha laga, roz naya thela laga. He'll go with the same because that food is a that business is different business. But if I am looking for a place where I like to have sit with my family with peace, my friends with comfort, spend good time, I will have a different feel, different vibes all the time. And that's what the objective is. So he said it will give a different portfolio, people will go different places. So we need to utilize funds. Now, the board has approved that we are willing to accept your new hotel and approve. That's the first thing we can do that. Regarding your budget hotel, it is under discussion. We'll think on budget hotels. How do you think we can work on this? Now, regarding to invest in another hotel industry. Out of 7 board of directors on my company, in that board meeting, 6 board of directors were present. Out of the six, 5 board of directors voted in my favor, and one said, "No, I'm not willing to invest in the hotel industry." He had the same views like I had that we should not invest in the same industry, so he disrejected. Now, what do you think? Can we go ahead and make an investment in the hotel industry? Because out of six, majority 80 90% approx have accepted, or you think it should be unanimously approved by all 6 people present? 83.33 makes sense. So we could have gone. Samanathan, this 83 you're taking on the basis of what? 5 out of 6 or okay, 5 out of 6, not 5/7. Fine. 5 out of 6, 83. 16, 6, 96. Fine. Okay. Anybody has a different view? Can we go ahead because we got the majority? Or what does Mansa says? No, all directors were not present. Now, Mansa, you are unfair to me now. Somebody is absent, you cannot penalize me for that, right? So he is absent, it is his problem. Why are you penalizing the people who have joined that day? Can go forward. Smriti says can go forward. Okay. Even if you put 5 by 7, okay, that's fine, fair enough. Okay. Okay. Quorum present. Okay. 17 by 43. Okay, whatever you take, fine. At least you are majority. You are okay. Now go again and read section 185, 186 both thoroughly. Okay. It may sound bizarre. Fine. Fine. Supposing fair enough. Neha, point is taken care. Common sense says we can go ahead with this proposal. That's a common sense. But we do not go with common sense. And that's why when you are a consultant, never take your common sense take over. Always, always go with what does the law says. Whether law says illogical or logical, we need to follow that. Do we agree? Whether law doesn't make sense to you, we need to follow. What does the law says, right? Some things, even it does not make sense, need to be followed. So I'll give you a classic example. You all understand a very common principle that if I am making a gain in a capital gain in a long-term capital gain, and I'm making a long-term capital loss, let's say in a one share I made a gain, in one share I made a loss. You will allow me to set off? Legally, you will allow me to set off? Correct? Legally, you cannot say, no, no, Sumit, pay tax only on the gains. You will allow me to set off. That's what you will do. Correct? That's a common sense that we understand. Does the same common sense, does it applies to Bitcoin and Ethereum? I make money, I make profit in Bitcoin, I lose in Ethereum. Will you allow me set off? Or you will say, no, Sumit, pay tax on what you made a gain. Loss is your problem. So, Gita, now you will not allow me, right? Does it look logical? And again, I'm talking from a layman perspective. Does it logical to layman that you tax making gain in one Bitcoin and you not allow me to set off to the loss I made? You're not allowed to do that, right? So common sense will say, okay, take it. I made money. That's a common sense. You know why nature of income is different, Mancha? Both are Bitcoins. Both are cryptocurrency. In one cryptocurrency, I made a profit. In another cryptocurrency, I made a loss. Income is same. Or how it is different, Mancha? If I'm missing something to understand in this, either you convince me or you should get convinced with me. That's a simple rule. Okay. You tell me how the loss is different. My simple question is, both are cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. Ethereum is a cryptocurrency. I made a profit in Bitcoin, one cryptocurrency. I made a loss in another cryptocurrency. Will you not allow me set off logically? I'm asking. Legally, we know the answer. It is not allowed legally. Can you explain this to a layman that no, no, shares maybe will allow, but in Bitcoins will not allow set off. Now, we know the reason why the government has done that. Government want to prohibit people into betting into cryptocurrency. That's a government law logic. But then common sense will to the layman will say no, that is not right. But we know the legally backing is not permitted. So similarly, in this case, which looks common sense that yes, out of 7 or out of 6 people who presented, 5 have voted in favor. So we should allow the investment. But then if you go and look to the section says, no, no, discourage, Smriti, discourage. They will not encourage investment in crypto. The government want to discourage. That's why they do not allow set off. What does section 185, 186 says? When there is a decision making on investments, when there is a decision making on, no worries, no worries. When there is a decision making on investments, when you are putting investment in another company, unanimous approval of all present directors required. Again, remember, it is unanimous approval of all directors required. Even if one objects out of 10 directors, one object, entire decision has to be cancelled. We go with majority. So those who are absent, that is fine. Anybody abstain from voting, that is fine. But somebody who is rejected, So there are two ways, I'll say I'm against the motion. I am without the, I am in favor of the motion. But the third would be I abstain from the voting because maybe I'm a vested interest party and all. So if you are into the abstain position, your vote does not get count. But the moment you reject that I do not approve this, in that scenario, you cannot go ahead and get this investment done. So this is again an exam question which you will see that. And again, remember, read section 185 thoroughly mandatory. So that comes there. Now, what are the way forward they have? Just remember. Way forward they have is start execution of Udaipur hotel projects. Try to deliberate on budget segment entry and see how you can leverage the budget segment because as of now that not got approved yet. So in section 185, when your investment is probably one of the reasons where unanimous approval requires. That is the first reason where unanimous approval and where you are changing old articles association conditions. When you would have wrote an articles, then there would be certain terms and conditions, and now you want to change because you have already committed something to them, and now you want to change, then you need unanimous approvals. Continue deliberate set on budget entries. Either implement approved investment strategy for surplus funds because that has not been approved yet. See, see the growth under which section you need to position yourself. If you position yourself better, then only you can get a huge value. If you remember, I had taken one case study of West Side, Zudio, and Zara. Anybody remember that case study? I had taken a case study of West Side, Zudio, and Zara. All three products, all three work differently, and all three are positioned themselves differently. One has made for upper class, one is made for uh, HNI class, between upper and below upper class, the raw, which is like West Side, and then comes the mid-size segment, middle class segment, that is Zudio. So you need to position yourself because then you get valuations accordingly. So the operation started coming on 1st April. The hotel was opened in the name of Elegant Luxury brand. Strategic location in a major tourist hub. It is focusing on high-end hospitality and culture immersion because many times high-end hospitality is what is people crave for. Everybody need to be filled like royal, and that's why you see, that's why you will see how you feel. I'll just give you one anecdotes, just how the hospitality makes a difference. Uh, what is the highest tip you would have ever think somebody would have given to a person standing on the door who just do a salute to some person coming in and going out? Any vague thoughts? Any vague thoughts? Just a very, people. There is a doorkeeper who closes the door, and he does a salute to person, greets to person going in, going out. He makes a salute. If you have seen, especially if you have seen traditional hotels or royal family hotels, you would have seen them. They are wearing long mustaches, turbans, and all. Welcome, please, one would, right? So generally, what is the tip you can think of somebody would have given just for that salute? Just for that salute, how much tip you can think of? Generally, I'm just giving a one. Mancha, 1,000 is in dollars or INR? We are talking. I know you're talking about INR only. Okay, so 1,000 rupees. That's you thought of, right? What if I tell you? What if I tell you one sheikh of Saudi Arabia, royal family, was visiting Dubai, and in the Burj Arab hotel, the gatekeeper gave him a bending salute. He just bent down, just like in India, mein Japana, just like he bent down and gave him a salute. He gave him 800,000 dirhams. 800,000 dirhams, you multiply by 21 rupees approximately. That's a tip he gave to that person. Now, this is one of the absurd tips ever somebody has gotten. It is in the Guinness records also the highest tip ever given to somebody at doorbell, just giving a salute. The reason he gave, the king said, the person, the royal family said, he said, the way he saluted me, it feels like I am the best person in the earth. I am the royal king. I am the biggest guy. So he made me feel so much elevated that I am bound to give you what I can afford. So they are from royal family. They could have easily give that money. Money is not a challenge for them. But this kind of tip nobody has ever given and nobody has ever thought of. So at times, if you give them a high-end hospitality, make them feel good, especially when you see when you enter any hotels, they all give you tika, uh, give you flowers, make drums and all. So make you feel like king kind of entry. So that's what he thought. Let us build into that. He has already incurred. He has already incurred 25 crore in capital expenditures, all capitalized on 1st of April. Further expenditure is about to claim is 10 crore is going to buy additional piece of land and 5 crore on further development on that. All payments have been made by check. What is the relevance of the payment being made by check? Is there any relevance of this? What if I would have done payment by cash, genuine payment by cash? What do you think? Will I would have got the deduction under section 35 AD if I would have paid by cash? I would not have got a single deduction if it would have been paid in cash. Any amount above 10,000 if I paid in cash, deduction will not be permitted. So all amount should be into from banks only. So he paid all by checks. Now he need to file a return for this year. So that was all investment done. So total investment would be 40 crores, 25 here and 15 here. How much I will get a deduction would be 40 crores or 35 crores. Oh, sorry, or 30 crores under 35 AD. So it will be 30 crores. I will not get a deduction of land acquisition. So except land, I will get all acquisition, all exemptions. My another hotel is giving me 15 crores profit. Other hotels are giving 35 crores profit. So we have total 40 crores profit, 50 crores profit from both. We have not claimed any deduction under section chapter 6A, nor we are taking concession rate. So we think to take now 35 AD option. So we want to take a deduction of 35 AD. We made an application of a 4-star classification. The classification came in 25-26. The delay was due to the inspection which was pending by a hotel authority. HRACC, which is the authority who gives a license, they have not given a license. If they have not given a license, can we take a call? See, because whether I'm 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, you will only come to know based on my license. I have not received a license because the license was delayed due to the inspection not done by the authorities for whatever reasons they know. So, Dolly, my question is, how do you know I am 4-star? To know I am more than 2-star, I need to have a rating. Okay. So, application is made on time. Fine. Because I was not able to see the last message. I saw the earlier message. Okay, fine. Absolutely right. So there is a tribunal judgment on this which says that the error was not on the part of the company. The company applied on time. It is your delay. Based on your delay, you cannot let the assessee deprived of the benefit. If the government authority did not do inspection on time, it is their problem. They cannot blame the hotel that you have not done his job on time. He has done his job on time. So that's why they say we will ignore it and allow that. So they will be allowed. The deductions were fulfilled under various exceptions, capital expenditure and all. So whatever we discussed, they all allowed. Now it's 8 o'clock. Shall we take 10 minutes quick break? Because we are just having a power cut. So just to show you that it's all power cut here. So I'm just trying to uh, get a inverter and generator in 5-10 minutes. So allow me a 10 minutes break. Okay. Ajit, we'll just take a 5-7 minutes break. Okay. And resume shortly. See you in 10 minutes. Apologies for the unavoidable situations where the entire generator got blasted, so we could not have any other outlet. Sorry for keeping you waiting. So I think the point which we discussed earlier was that he has done a deduction, he has claimed a deduction, he got a ability to technically that's not getting a benefit. He can always take the benefit even if he has filed on time. Operation delay on part of the government authority cannot deter somebody else to get the claim. So there's a there's a tribal judgment cases in favor of the customers. So we discuss that part that he can claim excluding land that we just discussed this. Now in 25-26, he got a board approval and he started the budget business hotel. Started with 100 rooms in Jaipur and 200 rooms in Jodhpur. These locations are prime urban areas. When you take prime locations, you always have high real estate cost. And because if you're in a prime area, then only you get a good customers. At least the location depends. Location always depends based on the choice of customers you have. If I'm looking for a working class, the people who are working class travelers, shall I keep hotel far away from city, far away from business area, where there is no disturbance, or clean, serene, quiet place, or it should be in this business hub, which is nearby common business areas where just like fast, whereby it is Nariman Point, or I'll keep Washi or very far away. So we need to keep in the business hub, and business hub become expensive. But when I look for a luxury retreat hotels, are they in a main city full of crowd, chaos, or you will always find them generally far off from cities, secluded places where you might be less population staying there. So mostly you get peace there. What kind of environment you find when you're looking for luxury places, hotels, especially when people go for relaxing. And nowadays you have so many wellness centers. I don't know how many of you are aware that there's a new trend going on as well. Is a wellness retreat centers, just like Rishikesh or Kerala, where a lot of people come for, or Bangalore in that sense, where they come for healing therapies and take Ayurvedic treatments for 15 days, for a month, and stay there in the luxury kind of hotels and ashrams like that. His focus was to start with a business facility where they give you accommodation with meals, conference rooms, business center usage, fitness rooms, gym, and all, and tea, coffee during events. So they have big clients who give generally 100 delegates. Now, as I mentioned, all companies generally used to do a annual meeting or to motivate people, to give incentives, to award ceremonies, a get together for a company. So that's why these all hotels get businesses regularly. Uh, Jaipur Hotel is net profit is 2 crores, depreciation 8 crores, increasing working capital 5 crores, capital invested 10 crores, capital expenditure was 10 crores in a year. Total capital invested is 20 crores. My weighted average cost of capital is 8%, and my corporate tax is 30%. Now, based on these numbers, what do you think? Is this a profitable investment or non-profitable investment? Based on these numbers, if you want to calculate economic value added or free cash flow to the firm, what do you think this numbers look like? 2 crore profit before tax and interest, depreciation 8 crores, working capital increase is 5 crores, capex I did for 10 crores, So my total capital invested is 20 crores. WAC is 8%. Tax rate is 30%. What do you think? Is it profitable, not profitable, according to you? EVA is what is your view? So if we take EVA, economic value added, out of 2 crores, I'll pay tax on 30%. So I'll pay 60 crores, 0.6 crores of tax. So remaining net profit, net operating profit after taxes is 1.4 crores. So whatever capital charge I have, my total capital is 20 crores invested. If I take 8% WAC, though in real life 8% is very low WAC, it has to be significantly higher. But even if I take 8% WAC, it becomes 1.6 crore. That means at least this much, at least this much I need to withdraw from the profit, from the business. That's a bare minimum. What is cost of capital? Anybody aware? In a layman language, what is cost of capital? What is the cost of capital we assume? We mean, in a layman terms, it is the expectation. It is the bare minimum expectation which somebody expects. Because in a financial commercial world, we don't do any charity. When we put money in something, we expect. Your expectation can differ, my expectation can differ, but there has to be some expectations. So WAC is assumed as what is the return expected by the fund providers. So there are generally two kind of fund providers. One is shareholders, and one is the lenders. It could be the banks or anybody else who is giving a debt to the company. The debt always between debt and equity, which one will be having a higher return expectation? Between debt and equity, unanimously across the globe, between debt and equity, which one will always demand a higher expectation, higher returns, debt or equity? Which one you think? Unanimously across the globe, not only in India, across the globe, in any market, whether you take a matured market or growing market, it will be always equity that will always be having a higher risk, that will always having a higher demand, a higher return, because the first right of redemption you give to debt, they will be in the upper category for given payment. So that's why equity will always demand a higher risk for being on the last level of payments. So in terms of liquidation, who gets the last money generally? Who gets the last? It is always the equity shareholders, because on the payment terms, they are considered on the last bench. That's why their expectation should be higher, and which is a very logical and common sense approach across the globe. The returns can vary. It may happen that in India, so in India, let's say if you can we expect the same expectation of returns across the globe? In India, equity shareholder will expect the same return in US, or there's a difference? What is your view? So you all agree there is a difference. Ordinary shareholder will always be the last one to get it. So in India, what you expect in India will not the expectation of shareholder in US. It all depends on their individual economic and market dynamics. We all govern by Sensex. So how much Sensex is giving me return, that becomes a benchmark to decide how much I expect. And as I said in the beginning, we take decisions based on what others are getting. So let's say if I have 1 crore rupees to invest, I will see how much market is making money. So if market is giving 12%, if I invest in a listed company, listed bonds, they will give me 12%. Then if I want to go into unquoted sector, then I will always ask for a 14% or a 15%. That is higher from numbers. So my thought process, my decision making becomes on the data which I am getting from my peer sectors. So that's why your data should be very clear. Of course, geopolitical sector, absolutely. Because if something is a war-prone state or something is going into like somewhere where there's a monarchy, there's a different rule. Let's say where on a right note, I always say now where you have a leader like Trump who negotiates or who threatens. I don't know how many of you know the funny joke he said to the Canada president. Let me make it 52nd state. US has 51 states in the country. So he says, let Canada become my 52nd state. So that how can a president, talk demeaning to such another president? But that's the way they are. So based on those respective countries, you need to take a call. I don't know how many of you know this. Remember the very famous case of Vodafone in India? Very famous case of Vodafone excise and taxation where 800 crore rupees taxation, where Vodafone was given win in Supreme Court, where the shares of Vodafone, which is a company in India, was sold by two shareholders outside India, and they made a huge gain of 800 crores approx, and not a single tax was paid on that gain. That was one of the very famous cases. I'm sure many of you would have studied that case in your final tax and all, capital gain related, right? So what happened in the court of law? The Supreme Court made the Vodafone win, and Vodafone win the judgment. But what did the income tax department did? Do you know? So they win the judgment in Supreme Court. The Vodafone company win the judgment in Supreme Court. Any idea what did the Vodafone did? Any vague ideas? What did the government of India income tax department did, or the government did? So there was a very big case. It went into a long for Supreme Court. Supreme Court made Vodafone win, and Vodafone win on the arguments. But then, can you imagine what did the what did the tax department did? They they changed the law retrospectively. So today they amended. So Mancha, amendment is fine. I am fine with amendment. But can you go back to 1961 and say this amendment is started from 1961? Can we do that? And when they went to 1961, somebody jokingly asked that why did you went to 1961? And he says we cannot go back much further because our act was formed in 1961. That was on a lighter note they made this statement. So somebody asked that you okay, you lost it, we understand. Now you want to curb this practice. So should you go forward looking or you go backward from last 1961? What happened by this? By amending 1961, the Supreme Court win become a loss to them. Then Vodafone technically loses on this ground because Act got amended in 1961. Then, then lot of foreign investor says we will quit if you keep changing law like this. You cannot be unfair to the investors. Whether we made a loophole benefit, that's your problem. You have not guarded your laws protected. But now when we win in Supreme Court, you cannot come back. So at some point of time, people say it is tax terrorism in India, so we will not invest in India. So a lot of foreign FIs did not invest. So that way, when you have a WAC, it all depends on what kind of country you're investing, what kind of business sector you're investing. Based on that, you make a decision. So economic value added will always need to be seen. Somebody will just make a number that okay, on 20 crore you make 2 crore, 10% profit, good. WAC is 8%. That does not make sense. That cannot be taken a benchmark. So you are actually making a loss here because it is expecting 1.6. You are giving 1.4. So if the EV is negative, it is not a good sign. Now, one of the ways to reduce your cost. So how do you think this hotel works? So let's say there is a 100-bed hotel. Okay, let's 100-bed hotel. Average occupancy is 30% generally. Let's say on a weekdays, on Monday to Friday, 30% stays, and on Saturday Sunday it is 90% occupied. So how do you think I can manage my staff on those days? Monday to Friday it is 30%. Saturday Sunday it is 90%. So shall I hire staff full time for all days, or I put on a outsourcing that whenever I need only that I pay them? How do you think it should work out? So that's why most of the hotels go for outsourcing services. They say that we don't need staff all the time. So based on minimum requirement, they keep minimum on their payroll. Rest all are on contractuals. They always outsource so that it is not very taxing for them. So they take minimum what is required. Majority they take it out. Most of the hotels also in food services they outsource. Like uh, if whenever you would have gone to any 4 star or 5 star, generally any 4 star, 5 star marriage functions or any functions, what do you think the sweets which is there, the sweets, is there the hotel staff, the hotel chef make the sweets or they purchase it from outside? What do you think? And I'm talking of 5 star hotels. They always purchase from outside, always. Even though they could have made it, but they say we will not get that taste. They always outsource it because they know it will be much cheaper for them. And because they know something they are not making regularly, something which is made regularly by someone who is pro in this, they always do that. And then they do not have to have full investments. They always have a space optimization, who need to have that kind of services. So that's what some of the things they can think on way to do that. For example, laundry services. So in any hotel, laundry is a must. We agree. Whichever hotel you stay, whether it is a budget hotel or it is a 5 star hotel, laundry is a must. That services need to be given because if I'm staying for let's say 7 or 10 days, I I cannot wash my clothes generally if I am not aware. Though I should know how to wash the clothes, but let's say so I will expect the hotel to give me this laundry. If I put laundry machines, it requires huge capex, right? To put a laundry and iron. Just take a guess. Out of 100 people who stay in hotel, generally, out of 100 people who stay in hotel, do you think how many you think you would be going for a laundry services? Generally, take example of 100 people who stay in hotel. How many of you think generally they go for laundry? Generally, average number. How much you think? Very few. Not more than seven. Seven is the average number of hotel industry, which is a based on data. So 40, $50 is a optimistically very high. Now why? So 2, 3, 5, 7 is the maximum number. Why do not do that? Why they do not do that? Because first people are for short terms, 2, 3 days, 4 days. Generally they carry that number of dresses with them so that they don't need to give to outside and all. Somebody who's going for more than let's say 15 days, 7 days, 10 days, then they do that. More than 5, 7 days, they do that. But less than 4, 5 days, generally, you do not do that. So that's why for a small number of people, I would not like to go for having a expensive investment of laundry machines and all. Because if I buy a laundry machine, I need to put a specific person for that. That cost will be there. Then it's maintenance cost. So then they try to go for outsourcing. That's why most of the hotel industries have these basic services outsourced. Let's say chauffeur, let's say taxis, because they will always try to offer and outsource. That's the way they go ahead. And it is always said that all known non-core services should always be outsourced. You should not outsource your core services because if they get compromised, your entire business gets compromised. But if you outsource non-core and if something goofs up, you can always make good and get this sorted out. But if the main core services you outsource, then it becomes a huge channel. I don't know how many of you know generally how does the hotel industry works in India generally, and I'm talking of 5 star hotels, big size hotels. So the land is owned by somebody else. He constructs the hotel. He constructs the building based on certain brand. So let's say I am in Mumbai. Let's say I'm in Mumbai, and I'm having a huge piece of land in Navi Mumbai. Sorry, not Navi Mumbai, Nariman Point. Sea facing huge chunk of land. So what I will do is I will try to JV with somebody who is already in hotel industry. So let's say I'll try to go with a brand. I'll try to go for Accor, Radisson, or any brand. I will say to a brand, let's say Hyatt, or let's say Hilton, whichever you like. We go to that brand and sign an MOU. We'll sign an MOU saying that, okay, you tell me what needs to be constructed. I'll construct that for you. Let's say it takes 50 crores to do a construction. I'll do that 50 crore construction with you. Then, any idea how many years agreement we will sign with Hayat or Hilton? Approximately. Approximately. Yes, robots can be used for housekeeping, and in Japan, many of the places for washrooms and all, they all use robots only for now cleaning, automatic rooms and all. Many places they've done that. Any idea how many years agreement I will sign with Hayat or Hilton for they will manage my property because I need to bind them, right? What is the average minimum size? Maximum is 99. What is the minimum? Minimum is 9 years. 9 years is the minimum. They do 9 plus 9. That's a standard agreement. They say, okay, we'll make for 9 years and plus 9 years renewal option at the option of both the parties because I have put heavy investment. So they need to compensate that. So then once I make an agreement with Hayat, then Hayat will run the entire show. I cannot even put one staff on mine. I cannot say, no, no, I'll have my own bodyguards, security guards, and all this. And no, when we are taking as a management, we will run the entire hotel. Only thing you need to have access is you will have access to our records and registers that how much booking is coming. We will open the revenue as open as with you because most of the hotels have the lease agreement is they fix a minimum number of rental every year. That's a minimum plus certain percentage on the basis of room bookings. It could any idea how much percentage you think they give to the landlord? Any vague thoughts? Absolutely right. So, Manathan, have you seen any agreement like this? 9 plus 9, that's why you get this answer. Because this is actually many hotels do this exactly like this, what you mentioned. 9 plus 9, non-cancelable and rent-free, exactly like this. Any idea how much percentage generally they put on royalty revenue? Any vague thoughts? So generally 5% they give, generally 5. No, 50 would be very high. Because then they will not, the hotel will not make earn money. 5 is generally, that's what they do, correct. So that's what they generally do that. Now, here in this case, he was having a challenge of local reliable partners that he was not getting. He was not getting compromising on cleanliness and food quality. That becomes a huge issue. High customer expectations, even in budget segment. That is a. Do we agree that even if I'm staying in a budget hotel, I'll expect same level of service? What do you think? Will I not expect ki give me toothbrush, give me shaving cream? Have you not ever asked when you stayed in a budget hotel, call the reception and say, I need extra toothbrush, extra lotion, extra shampoo. Yes, no, maybe. Reasonable. Reasonable means, yeah. But we ask, right? But we ask. Even though we have a shaving kit with us, we will at least ask. Not because I need it, because it is my right. You understand? And think from a customer's mindset point of view. When the customer says, when I'm paying, it becomes my right. Whether I need or not, I'll take it. That's a customer mindset. I don't know how many of you remember one video that got viral when one family was on a holiday in somewhere in foreign country and they took so many things from the hotel and at the reception they were got caught that you are stealing so many things from hotel and one of the response अच्छा ये लेके नहीं जाना होता क्या हमें लगा ये रखने के लिए तो I can take everything so they taken all artifacts in the rooms. Did anyone remember that? Then it becomes a huge issue on the Indian travelers that they then a lot of I think it was Ixigo who made a video when you are traveling abroad, what things you can take out from the hotel and what you cannot. Did anybody remember that episode where it happened 5 6 years back? So that way it works on. So the problem becomes with customer will always believe that he's the king, he's paying you, and that's why he expects everything on the top order. But he forgot that he has not paid. So when you pay peanuts, you can't expect the best services. So it is assumed that it is included in the price always. So let me check. So he was recommended that do a outsourcing strategy. Short term, it will always help in control. These theoretical parts I'll skip. I'll take two, three points just to explain you. Now, as I mentioned you earlier, that one point which I mentioned you that the biggest challenge the hotel industry is facing is from the online travel booking agents because they're giving freebies, discount, and when I book through that agency, the hotel do not make much money. So hotel is shifting to try to get customers on their direct websites, their other things. So how to do that? Okay. So so now there is a basic expectation when you go to a hotel, basic expectation that you should get cleanliness, clean room, clean washrooms, white towels, no dirty towels. So everything linen, bed sheets should be clean. This is fine. This is minimum expectation. This is expectation minimum, right? We expect this is minimum expectation. And let's say if the hotel give you this, will you come to the reception and say thank you hotel for giving me this, or it was supposed to be given to you? What do you think, Mancha? We will do. If I am a hotel staff and I'm giving you the best clean bed sheets, clean towels, clean everything good, will you come and say thank you, or it is assumed that I was supposed to give you this one? This is the basic expectation, basic minimum expectation to be given, right? So it is my duty. So despite I give my best to you, it will not make an impact to you, right? So it is like a goalkeeper. It is like a goalkeeper. I am saved 9 goals. You will not say thank you, but I missed one goal. You will curse me. You say, Sumit, your job is to be a goalkeeper. How can you miss one goal? But you will not appreciate my 9 goals, right? So similarly, I have given you the best laundries, best this is basic expectation, right? So this way, I will not be able to win you over because this, despite giving you the best services, but this is the basic expectation, right? Now, how to win a customer then? Let's say any logics, any thoughts you can give me. I want to win you as a customer. Now, how to impress you? Now you're not getting impressed with getting the best bed sheets, best combals, best towels, everything. That you're not getting impressed by me. And how should I win you over? And now you all remember, selling is just like an art. How to make others feel valuable and feel important. Do we agree? Yes, no, maybe. Welcoming drink, taking valuables to room. Okay. But Swaminathan, problem is you will also say नहीं नहीं ये तो valuable चाय पिलाना है कॉफी पिलाना तो आपका काम है वेलकम ड्रिंक देना तो आपका काम है maybe may not be right. Now what does the hotels do? So the hotel says okay, they expect everybody will expect that I will get a welcome drink at the reception, so that's fair. Everybody will expect a good cleanliness and all. Everybody expects a escort to come, a reception boy to come and keep you at the room. That's expected. Now, how to win over customers? So then they say, and you observe this, what they do. If you are a direct hotel booking, you're not coming through the websites and all, you're directly not coming through the online agencies, directly you're coming. Let's say you book a normal room. Okay. What if I upgrade your normal room to a one notch above from standard to deluxe room? Will you be happy with me? Generally, you paid for standard, but I upgraded your family to deluxe saying that, sir, you are our lucky customer and all, and we like to hotel like to upgrade you. Will you feel a happy quotient? Your dopamine level will increase, and will you be happy with me? You'll be very happy. And I can bet. I used to travel a lot, and trust me, I used to travel a lot on economy. When I used to book ticket on my own expense, I'll book economy. But the moment, and I'm talking of period from 2006 to 2010. And the moment I used to go to the counter and I used to say, look, I am a chartered accountant working in a big four and all, I used to use my C8 tag. Trust me, 8 out of 10 times I was upgraded to business class. Okay. Because, and I'm talking of Kingfishers and Jet and Air India, they used to upgrade because for them, an educated customer is a premium customer. Because then I'll come regularly because they know I'm a traveling frequently. So that's why they do that. And you feel very happy when you got upgraded from economy to a higher level of class. Similarly, the all hotels, what they do, did anybody seen any hotel where you would have gone directly without bookings that they would have upgraded your room, or any of your relatives or anybody else in your known, they upgraded from to Maharaja or something like that? Absolutely right. This is how it feels from third AC to second. How do you feel? Very happy. Absolutely. It moves then because it is not your expectation, but they did something beyond. So I know one of my friend went to Udaipur Lake Palace and they paid a very normal room, which is very expensive, but still normal room. Because they went directly by booking their websites, they got upgraded to two level up. Because see, when you go on a weekday and in a weekday the rooms are empty, will it increase me extra cost to upgrade you, or will it be worth investing to give the empty room to you and win over a customer for a longer period? Because then not only you will visit my one property, there are multiple other properties where you like to visit, and that's not how. Because without putting any extra cost, I am buying a customer, and that's because it is an empty room. Normally in a weekdays you will get all kind of luxuries. In a weekends you cannot, because in a weekends they are jam packed. But if you go in a weekday in any hotel, mostly they will give you anything what you want. Probably it is in their budget and their approval. That can always be done. So this is some of the things they wanted to do outsourcing. Just a second. Geographical point we discussed. Now, this point we discussed that where we want to invest in a where we want to invest in a in mid investment, and out of seven directors, six were present. Out of six, five gave a consent. Can we give a go ahead with that? Common sense says yes, that's a common sense, but the law says no. And that's why if you see the sample papers of this case study and if you see the section 185, they will say all six directors have to give a consent to invest of the surplus funds because you are making investment. You cannot have a majority here. You cannot, it has to be unanimous. Personally, if you ask me, this is absurd law. Personally, if you ask me, because very difficult to put all people on same side. I may have a reservation, I may have a reservation, but with this you cannot stop an activity of the company. But this is what it is. But the law is very clear. It has to be unanimous consent of all people. Those who are present. If somebody is absent, abstain from vote, that does not matter. Now, what do you think will be? I am giving you a high cleanliness food service. What will be classified under attribute? So there's a Kanu model. The pronunciation is Kahano model. Kahano is a Japanese analyst who did an analysis on service industry. So he says service industry is the most fragile industry. Unlike so just like our CA service profession also service industry, because the problem with service industry and service and product industry is if I'm selling an iPhone, it is a tangible thing you can see. But when I'm giving you a service, let's say I'm filing your returns or I'm doing audit, these are intangible things. Similarly, like hotel industry services, it is intangible. People don't see that, how you make feel and all. So he says in this kind of industry, when people expect a service which is bare minimum, whatever best you give, it will have no impact because that's a bare minimum expected. That's why I said if I want to give a cleanliness, good food, this is expected. You cannot say to somebody, "Oh, I'm giving you a hygiene food." He said, "This is your job, so this is something you need to get." But what if so? That is a threshold attribute. So if you do not do that, it will backfire. It will have a huge negative impact. But if you do the best, it is something which you are expected to do that. That's what the option threshold attribute. Now imagine if I go to a restaurant, I order one dish, I got one dish, and has it ever happened to your time where uh, where hotel would have given you a different dish, saying that sir, this is a new version we are trying. Kindly see this dish. Have you ever seen that? Where some hotel would have given you additional without even ordering, they would have given you free dish. just for you to taste or something new, and you would have relished that much more than what you ordered. Why is that? Because you are not expecting that, and that is called under delight attribute. So you got delighted that okay, I got something, so you feel privileged. So this is what it happens in a model. I'll explain Kanu model in a minute. EVA, we discussed that it is a negative EVA. It will not be a positive EVA. Always need to not see the net profit. Always need to see how much value you are adding. If I'm putting 20 crore in a business and people expect 8% minimum post tax, then I need to have at least 1.6 crore making minimum. But if you're making 1.4 crores, you're actually making a loss. That's a bare minimum. I'll skip this theory part. To this MCQ you can read long. Which you think, what benefit you think EHL will derive by operating different properties under two separate brands? Out of four options, which two options you think make sense? Operating under two separate brands provide better visibility since it will be known more than by one brand, or operating under two separate brands help potential customers determine the expectation from each properties. So let's say, for example, if I go to Taj Lands and Bandra, I know there's a different expectation. And if I go to Taj Ginger Andheri, I know there is a different expectations because separate brands have separate expectations. Operating two brands help effectively communicate better to customer about their product and service offerings. So I can't expect what I am paying at Taj Ginger and expect services at of Taj Lands End. That cannot happen. Operating under two brands help EHL to achieve goal congruence and improve shareholder value. Out of four, which one you think much better? Anyone has different answer? I got one answer, option D. Anybody got a different answer? Anybody would have opened case study? What answer you think you are getting there? So it is option B, where second and third, according to them, it will help to determine potential customers' expectation, and they can effectively communicate better that this brand will give you this much property, this much value, this brand will give you this much. That's where it works. Now, tax consultation. Before we go to the tax, I think we discussed this point of 35 AD. We discussed this point that what incentives you will get on construction of hotel, how much profit we do that, and whatever if your application received later on. That we have already discussed that part. Quickly coming on GST part. Now, if I'm a customer and I go to a hotel and I stayed in a hotel also and I had lunch there also, which part of GST will be I'll be able to claim as a customer? Hotel will charge whatever they will charge GST as per their normal rules and regulations. As a customer, between on staying and on food, which GST you think I'll be able to claim it? Which ITC input tax credit I will be able to claim it? But let's say I'm getting a separate bill. In a bill, they are saying, okay, for room rents, we are charging this GST. For food, we are charging this GST, separate bill for food. Even though it is clubbed, but I'm giving you separate. Then which Mansha you think I'll be able to claim? Because I'm not getting paid for breakfast, because breakfast is a composite supply, it is there. But what about food? I'm having a lunch separately, which is not in my package. I had a lunch in the same hotel. So they'll charge GST on that lunch also, dinner also, and stay also they are charging. Which one you think I'll be able to take? No, no, Neha, the question is, I'm asking the question, the customer can claim which one as a in GST, as a ITC credit. The rate will be changed, the rate will not be the same, they will be changed. But my question is, can customer take the credit of all the inputs, all the GST is paid, what GST paid on staying as a hotel, what GST is paying on the food, he can take on both, or he cannot take on any one of them. So on the food, you will not get a GST benefit. You don't get a credit on food. Food cannot be claimed. Let's say I am my company is registered in Jaipur. I visit Delhi, and in Delhi, I am staying in a hotel in Delhi. Can I claim the input tax credit of hotel stay charge in Delhi in my Jaipur company? Yes, no, maybe. What is your view? Only for stay we are talking as of now. Food we agreed with not. So I cannot even claim that as an input tax credit. I can claim that in my expenses, but not as input tax credit. You can get input tax credit on stay only for the same, state where you're staying. So that's the law. Now, a lot of hotels have cancellation charges. So let's say I made a booking of a hotel, paid 5,000 rupees, but for some reason, uh, so Neha, yeah, for a business purpose, POS differs. What does POS differ means? Cost differs means point of sale, or what does that? Bill will be on the company's name. That is fine. Neha, if I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say, bill would be on the company's name, but the GST. So let's say my company is in my, I am the customer. My company is in Jaipur. Uh, GST registration of Jaipur, Rajasthan. If I make a official visit to Delhi and I take in the Delhi GST, the hotel of Delhi will charge me GST. I will not be able to take input credit of that GST on hotel stay charged in Delhi hotel because the law will permit in the same state, then I can get a credit. I will claim the entire as an expense in my P&L that way. Correct, absolutely. That you cannot take that. Correct. So let's say I booked a hotel of 5,000 rupees. For some reason, I could not go. So hotel cancelled. I cancelled it to my website and 500 they have taken only. So GST will be charged on any of this amount or no? Because I have not stayed there. The hotel says you have not stayed. So will the hotel charge GST on this 500 cancellation fees or income from other sources, no GST required? Or GST need to be levied? What do you think? Will the hotel charge GST on the cancellation fees? Yes, no, maybe. No GST on cancellation fees. पक्का पक्का मंशा? Then how will they account it for them? If I don't charge on cancellation fees, how should I account it for them? Whether you charge or not, so I need to pay GST, right? Neha? Assuming it is inclusive. So I need to reverse calculation. So it will be GST included. So GST has to be paid on that. So it has to be a GST. It cannot be a GST neutral item, even though they are not staying. But you need to pay GST on that part. So you'll try to have a rounding of that and do that. Absolutely right. So that way you need to do a grossing up and charge that. So when a lot of people started this hotel industry GST, it was very unclear. So the issue came. I am booking through, let's say, Make My Trip. Make My Trip is booking to that hotel. I cancelled my booking on Make My Trip. Make My Trip cancelled on that hotel. So hotel is charging to Make My Trip cancellation fees GST. Make My Trip is charging to me. So that used to become a huge chaos. We were not able to link it up. So people were playing in that part. So they will say, oh, it's not my, it is the hotel's, he will charge. Hotel says, oh, I don't know, it is the booking who has taken, he will charge. And it was getting adjusted somewhere in that system. Later on, it got clarified and it has to be charged. So this is small on what we discussed. Let me just take you to the case study once. Just coming to the point of just a second. Let me increase the font size. And so if you see the question which we discussed, where what does section 186 says? So this section 186 you need to read and know that this section 186.5 mentions that. So what does it says? When we are having a decision, investment made, loan given, or a guarantee by the company, it will be only by sanction when it is passed a meeting of the board of directors with the consent of all the directors present in the meeting. So it is worded like this, that I need to get consent of all the directors. One dissent from one director will got the entire resolution cancelled. It has to be unanimous resolution that yes, we all agree. That becomes a that becomes a huge challenge for, and that's why in the board, people try to keep their own majority people on the board, that they convince others. Because because if someone disputes, someone says I will not do that, then it becomes a huge challenge. Just give me just a minute. Just give me a minute. So so therefore it will attract the GST, the cancellation which we are talking, in the same rate while you have done a booking. So that's why they have given to such an extent that if the room booking is, let's say, 12%, you will pay cancellation fee also at 12%. That's what they have done. Now, the case studies we have discussed, probably the income tax we have discussed, income tax part, that's what we have discussed. Just a second. Just give a minute. I wanted to show. I just show the IHCL balance sheet. Just a minute. Just a second. I think IHCL balance sheet I was not able to. Just a second. Just a second. So this is a 25 March 25 balance sheet of IHCL. Just a second. nowhere is mentioned. At least you read circular. That is good thing. Anybody knows what does a night auditor means? Night auditor in hotel industry. Just just take just to give a just to give just to give an idea of IHCL balance sheets. Generally, what are the compositions? What are the factors in the balance sheet? So PP is always the must. So it is in crores. So 2,800 crores. So 2,800 crores land and building. So the hotel industry, this is the most expensive part of this. Then we have right of use, because you take lease. Many places you take on lease, so you need to recognize as right of use. Then you make investments. So where do you think this investments could be? Any idea? Any logics? Any thoughts? Where do you think this investments could be? Any thoughts? It would be in subsidiaries, because we are having investments in subsidiaries, because I'll be opening many chains. So either I'll be buying a land, which will be under investment property, or I'll be buying into subsidiaries. So this will not be, Samanathan, this will not be into investments into land, because it is a, why it will not be? Any idea? Any logic, Samanathan, why it will not be investment in land? It can be in company, but not in land. It can be in subsidiaries, but it cannot be in land. No, not about huge outlay, not about huge outlay. If it would be in land, it will not come under financial assets. When it is coming under financial assets, then it is coming under subsidiary. Otherwise, if it would be, if it would be investment property, it will be shown separately. So then there will be income tax assets or inventories. 88 crores inventories are generally your your linen sheets, bed sheets, and your crockeries and cup plates and all these are crop inventories. Again, these investments would be mutual funds and all whatever investments. Trade receivables, 450 crores. Normally in a hotel industry, you expect trade receivables. Normally in a hotel industry, does hotel give credits? Have you ever get credits from hotel? Generally, no. And how come we see credits here? How come we see trade receivables here? For corporate bookings. So if I'm a corporate customer, I'll say, okay, I'll give you payment after 60 days. So if I'm giving a regular business to you, then so lot many people would have corporates. Then you give, or let's say for example, Make My Trip. When you book through Make My Trip, where did the money first comes to? Money will come to me. Then I will say, okay, I will give you at the end of the a month or a 15 days, we will settle. All these online travel agents, this all will be a trade receivables. Cash, 41 crores, which is fine. Bank balance and all is fine. Equity, static equity. Equities normally you do not change. Other equity, year on year profit. So from 10,000 crore, it is how much? 10,000 crore, they moved to 11,000 crore. So ideally, they would have made a profit of made a profit of 1100 crore plus. They should have made a profit of approximately 1300 crore, 1400 crore, but then they would have given dividends also. Post tax, lease liability, we all know. Is you are seeing the Are you seeing the asset and liability side? Is the liability heavy loaded? Is the liability heavily loaded, or very nominal liability as compared to this? So you see what they have. They have no liabilities. Just some dues, very minimal liability. Majority part is lying in the reserves, major part. And lease is also a notional liability. Lease is also not a technical liability, it is just accounting entry. That's why you have put into this. So this is kind of a business every businessman would like to achieve. That's what they do. Now let's see the P&L part. How does the P&L looks like? Just please try to squeeze the size. So if I look into the P&L part, how much revenue I'm making? 4,900 crores as compared to last year's 4,400 crores. So in a hotel industry, you will not see a spike. See, like in a trading industry, trading manufacturing, why you don't see a spike much in this? Any idea? Will you see regular spikes in a revenue or nominal spikes in a revenue, and why? Any idea why? Why is that so? Why normal? And why normal is acceptable? Why is that so? Why you think normal is acceptable? Why, as an investor, I will not expect much spike? Any thoughts? Why I cannot expect much spikes? Unlike manufacturing industry, where I can increase my overtime and I can increase my production. Can I increase my room rent rooms? एक माले पे एक माला, एक माले पे एक माला, or inventory is static. My rooms numbers are static. It don't changes. They remains as it is for years and years. How often you see hotel redeveloping itself? आज 100 रूम थे, अगले साल next year we go for 125 rooms, then 140 rooms. It does not happen because the moment you lay first outlay, it remains long for a period. So you don't expect much volatility in this. So it generally goes with your normal increments. That is the value increase you have. Whatever normal charges you are making, 10-20% is the maximum you can ever get it. So if you see the revenue operations, food and beverage consumed is very nominal. Out of 4,000 crore, not less than 10% you are. So where do you think the hotel will make maximum revenue? Is it on the room rents or is it on the banquets? Major cost will be your employees. Where do you think they will make maximum money? They make very less money on food and beverages. And I'm talking of five-star hotels, big hotels. Small hotels can make money in food and other things, but majority the big hotels make into in room rents only or banquet booking only. In food, they do not make that much revenue. Why? Because they have to use best quality of, like उनको अमूल butter ही चाहिए or the desi ghee, whatever the best ghee. They will not take adulterate. They will take paneer, authenticated paneer. So it will be expensive affair that way. We'll just take a quick look at 21 and 26 to understand these numbers, and then we'll take a break. So how much profit we talked about? So they made a profit of approximately 1900 crores profit they made. And then just, I'm sure we all know, we can have exceptional item in India's. Can we have extraordinary item in India's? Like IGAP? We can't. Unlike IGAP, in IGAP I can have a extraordinary item, but in India's I can only have exceptional item, not extraordinary. So they made a profit of somewhere around 1900 crores, paid taxes of approximately 25% approximately on this, and then 1400 crores would be this, and then they made loss. Why 1300 crores? So they would have distributed some dividend somewhere. Some dividend they would have distributed, no, very nominal dividend they would have distributed, because that's why it is. Otherwise, the number would have stacked to 1300 crore in the reserves. So let me just check SOC why it is not matching. Just a minute. In SOC, what they would have done? Just a second. Did they distribute a dividend or not in 25? Yeah, they give dividend. Okay, we can call it as a small dividend, but they paid somewhere around 250 crore dividend. So out of 1400 crore profits, 250 they have given as a dividend. So what do you think? Is it a good payout or bad payout according to you? What do you think? Don't see 11,000 crore. Just see from 1400 crore profit you made a year, I given you 250 crores. What is your view? Focus on future growth. As a shareholder, I'll be happy. Why I'll be happy as a shareholder? Because I know this industry always demands huge capex. And if I don't deploy money, the company do not deploy money now, I will not get much better returns later on. So either I should exit or I should put stayed in. So I cannot expect much. So 250 crore out of 1500 crore is a pretty decent, if you can say 15% approximately is a dividend amount. We'll just see row number, point number 21. Just a second, I want to see any disputed. Okay, that's fine. And whenever you want to understand any industry, just read it's their balance sheet. Any balance sheet, if you understand, read, you'll get a good idea to understand what they are about. See the point number 6, which you are talking of, investments, right? See where is the majority of the investments coming in. Majority of the investments coming is from subsidiaries. Now, if you see just a second where it starts, so I think they made a huge investment in subsidiaries. So if you see start reading from here, the kind of investment they have made. Non-quoted current investments, majority in subsidiaries. So most hotels have a company works as for each property they will make one company. So let's say Taj has 20 hotels in 20 states. So for each state they will make one company. They can do that. That way they can do that. So maybe that's the reason you'll see majority of the investment in subsidiaries. Then they would have done joint ventures. Then they would have associate companies where they would have taken 20% above shares. So this is an I would like to see any other major investments, mostly in joint ventures, joint controls, and then they made a provision also on bad debts or bad investments. They would have made a provision also for some. And then they made some investment in Tata Group companies, Tata shares. They would have made some investments in Taj Air and all. Any idea why Taj Air, why Tata Hotels would have made investment in Taj Air? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Why why this hotel industry would have made investment in Taj Air, some investment to get hybrid. In Air India or Air Vistara, who will give the breakfast? Who will serve the food? So they supply food. They're absolutely right now. So because of this, they made strategic investments to keep their skin in the game. When I'm your shareholder, then you'll allow me. And then they have investment in other hotels like Asian hotels and all. These are all various hotels for each city, as I mentioned. For each, so they have made for each territory. For North side, Asian North, for East, Asian East, different industries, and all these are listed companies. So that way they have put into it. So this is for investments, and I'll just take the last on revenue. How much is revenue we get from just a second. So just see now see very interesting point to understand. The shops which you have seen in the five-star hotels, you would have seen various shops like jewelry shops, designer dress shops, and all. See the kind of revenue they get. Very nominal revenue, 41 crore against 5,000 crore approximately, right? So it's a peanut revenue they get from rentals, not very significant revenue. The majority revenue comes from room income, food, restaurant, and banquet. They have not bifurcated here just for your disclosures, but if you know anybody in food industry, you will come to know more than 50 to 60%, more than 60% comes from room incomes only, rentals of rooms. And then comes banquet. Food is the last one because big hotels do not make money on food. Shop rentals and membership fees. Uh, when they operate other hotels. So as I mentioned, some places they operate other hotels and they take operating fees. So this is the income they take. Expenses we discussed, it is mostly employee food, employee expenses. Why they were having high expense? Just a second, because they're the highest expense. The most important thing we need to see is auditor's fees. So auditor fees is decent enough, 4 crore rupees. If you see where did they make most expense is, I think it is in line with the previous year expense if you see, except the outsourced support services increased. Outsourced support increased. Now, give an example. If anybody would have gone to the any of the five stars, if you ever you would have been, you see the golf cart. What do you think? The hotel buys the golf cart or they take it on rent? What do you think? So, Samanathan, at some places, what does the Taj will do? They will say that we will run the management. Property will not be mine. Property is your hotel. So let's say you say I want to have a hotel in the name of Aravali Hills. So it is your property, your palace. We will only come and do the operations and management. We will say what kind of menu would be there, how will you market, and also they will be only running the show. So because I have expert team in running the hospital in the hotel hospitality industry, so I will give you the services for that, and that's what they do it. So all these services are outsourced, golf cart and all. So one of my friend, he's into golf cart business. He purchases golf cart and gives to various hotels. So any idea of how does a golf cart cost approximately? How much a golf cart costs approximately? Approximately. You know the battery, the golf cart comes, which is in all hotels that take you and all in all hotels generally. So these are manufactured in. There are two three companies in Punjab they manufacture. Generally, the selling price is 20 lakh rupees generally. So I asked, and my friend, the person whom I know, he buys a lot of golf carts and give to all hotels on rent. I said, why don't they can buy this golf cart? Why they take it on rent from you? It is expensive to pay rent. He says, because the moment they buy it, they need to keep one employee. The moment they take one employee, they need to keep it on their payroll, then salary, and then all other expenses. So they say it is cheaper to buy at. It is cheaper to give. It's cheaper to outsource, take it from outsource, and do that way. So this is just, and I'll just take one more point to see. So because we just now see the standalone. I'll just like to touch base on consolidate. I'll take last 2 more minutes. We have not seen one very important thing. What is the thing we have not seen? Now see, the consolidated we are getting is 8,334 crores. Standalone we were getting 4,000 crores, 5,000 crore approx, and overall consolidation becomes this. So again, it would be due to various other factors in 25 years that way. Again, dividend distribution happened that way. Fine. The most important thing we should always see when we see any balance sheet is what? Any idea? What should be the most important thing we should see when we see any balance sheet? Do we have qualifications or clean? So it is a clean opinion. That's what we need to see. It's a clean opinion. Consolidated. And now, in when you do consolidation, the most important point is consolidation is goodwill. That's the most important point in consolidation, which we need to keep in mind. I think this is overall I need to take for today. Any quick questions you have, any quick points you have on hotel industry, something you'd like to add? We don't have we don't have Deepak Gupta sir, who always takes on at the end on practical issues on related to exams. So I may not be the right person to answer any question related to exams and the exam strategies. He'll be joining next Friday. By the time then we can have full clarification on any exam questions you have. Because pardon me for that exam questions. Yes, Priti, please. You need to remind me what did I use, Smriti. I'm not able to recall what did I would have used. My memory is unfortunately today I'm not. Unfortunately today I'm not in my right mood. Unfortunately, because an entire power burst happened. 10 floors I need to walk down and run. You can imagine the way I. So my mind is not in my peace because my only problem is I left my entire office open and come back because in blackout I could not see anything. Something reported. Oh, okay. I always say, Smriti always say that balance sheet is only good as long as the audit report is good. You can see a huge profit, but if I qualify the profit, then it makes no meaning to look into that balance sheet. As an investor, when I want to invest in any company, in any business, people see only balance sheet profit and loss. That does not make sense because profits I could fudge, I could follow wrong accounting treatment and make a profit, but it is the auditors whose will give a validation that okay, the profit that you are seeing is right. That makes sense. Like I'll give one important one in balance sheets in hotel industry or similar like railway industry. If I book today is 31st March and I got a booking for June, shall I book a revenue for that? What do you think? Shall I book a revenue for that? FS is always overstraight, generally. Audit report always matters, absolutely. And trust me, Samanathan, management override control will be prevailing at all places, whether be India, be abroad. Because I've been in abroad 10 years, so I can say this risk is pervasive risk. This risk cannot be controlled. So that's why auditor need to be aggressive on this, and you need to. This should be mandatory part of your risk documentation. That all the controls can run effectively, but tomorrow, if the top boss wants to do sabotage the controls, nobody can stop. And Satyam is a classic example we need to know. All controls are running fine, but when the top decides to do a fraud, nobody can stop. Absolutely. SCQ1 and 22 SA need to follow. Absolutely right. I'm very happy to see when I get interns and participants talking in a terminology like this, SCQ1 and SQC1 and this 220 SA. I feel that the profession will get to see stars auditors like this. This is something which we need. Deepak ji, can we call for the day today? Because I need to rush to office back. And on any query pending left next week, Deepak ji can address on. Sorry, I forgot Deepak is not there. So I think we have Neeraj. Neeraj, can we call a day today now and conclude the session? Yeah. Thank you all for your active participation for making the session interesting. Thank you all.